Hello and welcome to the Video Creator Show, where we talk the juicy details of how to succeed on YouTube. And what better way to do that than to talk directly to someone who has done it. Today, I'm speaking with Patrick, the creator of New Jersey Outdoor Adventures. His channel is all about van life, camper vans, and RV walkthrough tours. He interviews people with the coolest builds that range from RVs, camper vans, school buses, travel trailers, and more. New Jersey Outdoor Adventures currently has over 280,000 subscribers and over 71 million total views on YouTube. It also has over 90,000 followers on TikTok. Today, I'll be speaking with Patrick about how he built this channel, about a nomad lifestyle, and why it has been so successful. But first, the Video Creator Show is brought to you by VidChops.com, an editing service that helps take the burden of editing off your back. Check out VidChops.com to see how you can save yourself tons of time and energy while taking your YouTube channel to the next level. Patrick, thank you so much for joining me today. Your channel is great. You seem like you get to meet so many cool people that are kind of living out their dream, building out these camper vans and all kinds of vehicles. I mean, people convert shuttle buses. That's something that I never really thought about. There's just a lot of cool things that your channel really showcases, a lot of different lifestyles in this kind of van life niche. So I'm looking to hear about your background. First of all, you were getting into it right before the show, and then I stopped you and was like, please save it for the podcast. So let's hear it now.
Well, Grant, first and foremost, thank you very much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. I love what you're doing. I love the episodes that I listened to previously. My name is Patrick Botticelli, and I'm with New Jersey Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. The channel wasn't a channel. I didn't start to be a YouTuber just to put videos up. What I did was I bought a GoPro in 2014 because they had great marketing, and I watched awesome videos on YouTube of people doing cool stuff with GoPros, and I had just really gotten into mountain biking. So I needed a way to store these videos and maybe share them with friends. Never was an intention to share them publicly. I had them all unlisted. Then I started getting to a little bit more, once you get a GoPro, you get a little bit more brave, and you try new things, and you do cool stuff on your bike. So I was like, man, I would love to share these biking trips with an audience. So I made those videos public. And I started getting some followers, and it was followers from like the local mountain biking area. I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, they kind of like what I'm doing. And, the comments are tough sometimes. You're a beginner at something, and you read these comments, and you can, if you're having a bad day, it could really make it worse. But I chugged through that, and I started the channel in fashion because I wanted to share with people what I was passionate about. And I always loved abandoned places. In New Jersey, we have Weird New Jersey, and it's a magazine that comes out quarterly, and they show kind of weird, quirky things in New Jersey, buildings, urban legends. And I always had those magazines. I'd flip through them, and it was just a couple of pictures and a paragraph. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool to just take a camera to these places and describe how to get there, what it was like, what it smelled like, describe some of the things that you've seen. And I kind of started doing that. And the channel took a new direction. And it wasn't New Jersey Outdoor Adventures back then. It was just Patrick. It was like Patrick's channel. And I started getting a very large following. And my passion for it was I would ride my bike with a backpack, with a camera in it, and I would film anything cool I would see. And I'd study historic aerial shots of different areas and see if there's something cool, like abandoned structure in the woods, and shoot like these little mini videos. Now, there was zero editing, so you could imagine how rough these videos were. But somehow it captured an audience, and I started getting a very large audience, and I got a little nervous because here I am going to these places, and some you're trespassing, and now you're filming it, so you have this evidence. So I always at the back of my mind, like, should I be doing this? Are other people going to go to these properties and ruin them? So it was in, I would say, 2016 when I did an abandoned house where they literally just up and left everything behind. And
Wow.
that video went viral. And I was watching the views just go up and up and up. And it was such a rapid escalation of views. I had to put the video private because people were like, I know that house. I know where it was. I know where the people lived that lived there. And I was like, all right, I gotta shut this down for a second and figure out if this is the right thing to do. So in that, I've been in the RV business for 25 years. I sell Airstream travel trailers, and I have an automotive background. So I was always passionate about RVs and my customers coming into the dealership and what their dreams and wants and needs were. I'd have to pick the right Airstream trailer for them. And I would always get postcards and emails and watch them online and all these amazing things they would do and all these cool hacks. And I said, it'd be kind of cool to like film someone give a tour of the RV because on another YouTube channel for just about as long as this channel has been, I am like the Airstream guy. I give tours of Airstream travel trailers and I'm a salesperson and I do an hour-long presentation of what this Airstream trailer has and the features and benefits. And it's really cool, and I got a huge audience there too. But it's a little bit different when someone that owns that RV is giving you a tour, and you could see, the passion and how it changed their life, and the hacks and the tips that they did. And I decided to take the channel in that direction, and that's where New Jersey Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel was born. But I did have some struggles with the channel early on. Back in the day, if you wanted to, I got to the point where I was like, all right, let me monetize this channel. I'm going to start doing the RV thing. I think I got something good. I'm going to monetize it now because camera equipment's expensive. Your time is money, and now you got to edit this. So you got to be able to earn some of that money back. But I got stuck in some loophole that they had. Whereas if you clicked, you had a website, you had to actually set up a website and have Google Ads in it. And there was no way going back if you did that. So I took a break for one whole year and didn't
Mm.
shoot any content, didn't add anything until I figured out how to fix this problem. I know other big YouTubers that literally just abandoned their channel. They had a huge follow. They abandoned it and came out with a new channel. One of the big YouTubers, Adam the Woo, he does abandoned places. He had a channel with a huge following. I think he ran into the same problem because he came out with another channel and started from scratch and started all over again and built a whole new audience. I didn't want to have
Wow.
to do that. So I figured it out. I fixed it. I monetized the channel just in time for me to debut my Airstream, my own personal Airstream that I had built up. It's a 1997 Airstream B190. Now, no one knows what the heck that is because they didn't build a lot of them, but they built them from 1997 all the way till 2000. They built 1,384 of these things, and they look like grandma's little camper van, but it was just a cool, well-built rig. Well, took that rig, took all the stripes and decals off, sent it to a place called U-Joint Off-Road in Fletcher, North Carolina. I had a four-wheel drive put on and a huge lift with 35-inch tires, and it became the mega Airstream. And I did a walkthrough video. I actually hired someone that does video to film me because my editing skills were not great back then. And they're not great now, right? There's always improvement, but I was nothing back then. And I had her film it and edit it, and she, put out this video for New Jersey Outdoor Adventures, and that thing went viral like you would never imagine. Now, this is in 2019. This is people were doing van life, but van life wasn't the van life it is today in 2019. It was just starting to ramp up. And this video, just one day, I was getting 100,000 views, and I of OCD. I love answering comments. I was answering every single comment that would come in. You can imagine that was just consuming hours and hours of the day.
Oh,
So,
sure.
that was my first monetized video. And then from there, I took the direction, all right, the channel is going to be people giving tours of RVs, DIY, kind of quirky little things, something that's a little bit unique. So how do you get these people, right?
Hmm.
So I would drive through campgrounds and look around and meet and greet people. And back then I probably had about 30,000 subscribers. You know how hard it is to convince someone to take 2 hours out of their day and let you into their private space to give you a tour of their RV? It was
Yeah, I can
difficult,
imagine.
but people buy from people in the RV business, the car business. Well, people buy from people in this. So I would convince them that it was going to be a good idea for them because they have this documentary that they could share with their friends and family and kids of them in this time, in this period of their life, what it was like in their RV. Usually people just have pictures of the campground that they get to share with friends and family. But how about a full tour of your RV of what life was like at that period of your time? So people like the idea. I would also I made these really cool flyers, like what a real estate agent would have that they stuff on your mailbox. And I used to ride my bike. That's what I do. I'm a cyclist. I ride my bike all over New Jersey, and I'd see a cool camper van parked up by the beach, and I'd stuff right on their windshield and their wipers a big flyer. It said, who I was, what I did, and my telephone number, and call me if you're interested. And people called. People are
Wow.
proud of what they own and what they've done to it, and they want to show other people. So that's kind of where it started really ramping up in 2019. And then COVID hit, and that changed everything. Who's going to allow me to go into RV and film a tour? Um, so I kind of had to stop that, and I figured out, well, what could I do? I had a 1961 Airstream Bambi travel trailer that I planned on doing a restoration in a 10-year period. Well, here it is in my driveway. I had most of the materials sitting in my basement stockpiled. I said, I'm going to restore this trailer during the lockdown. There's really nothing you could do except for go mountain biking. I was working remotely. I had a lot of time, and I filmed a lot of the different steps involved in rebuilding this Airstream travel trailer. And I got a new audience now, new people that are Airstream fans or DIY fans watching these videos. And once I would say May or June of that year, people started reaching out to me and say, "Hey, like I'm in the area. I have a camper van that I built. I want to show what I've done to the world." And that I started back up filming van tours, but a lot of it kind of transitioned to like the DIY because I was so passionate because I work with my hands. I was an auto tech, like I said before. I could do woodworking, electrical. I could relate to these people that built their own van or had someone build it for them, and it's not like a manufactured, mass-produced a product. So
Hmm.
in 2020, that's when I started doing more things to kind of promote the channel itself. I would go on different podcasts and talk about the channel, what I've done, or just be involved in anything that could potentially promote the channel. And that's when I started Instagram for New Jersey Outdoor Adventures. And back then, Instagram was mostly just pictures, right? You share a picture, and you hope that you get a lot of likes. But then people say, "Oh wow, this is Patrick with New Jersey Outdoor Adventures. I know that YouTube channel." In 2021, I was doing weekly videos. So you can imagine I work 50 hours a week in my full time job. I do this in my spare time. It's a part time job for me. I have 2 days off a week, and I film one or both of those days, different tours, and go biking. That's kind of my life. Well, I had so much content, I was going to bi-weekly tours, like 2 episodes a week. And back then, I guess people had time to watch these things. You got 2 20-minute videos a week. Today, no one has time to watch that. Everything's changed. And I'll get into that a little bit about what the direction of the channel and social is for me and probably everybody. But I was doing 2 episodes a week, and then I started new logo. I had a fancy intro to the channel and T-shirts, new flyers, and I started the Facebook page. So then, what I was able to do is I'd post a video, and I would have all these really cool pictures from when I did the van tour that I would post a photo gallery on Facebook, and I would be able to share with all these different Facebook groups. And it wasn't just a link to the video; it was a photo gallery. And hey, if you guys like this, check out the full tour. And that's what really helped the videos really excel in a short period of time by having them all over Facebook, and I could see how many people were sharing on other
Hmm.
platforms. That's changed a little bit. It's not the same way you could do it now. It's harder to promote your videos on different groups. There's different groups that have rules. So I kind of had to say, what else could I do? And I'll get into that in a little bit. Uh, fast forward now to back in 2021, a lot of YouTubers get into like pushing products and different brands and promotions and commercials. With my career, I have a little bit of conflict of interest with some of the stuff. So I kind of pushed off on doing other brand promotions. And I did one. I did a lock for a trailer because I had fans of the channel that loved my Airstream trailer. And I said, hey, how are you going to protect that thing? And we'll set you up with a lock, and maybe we could do some social posts. So I signed up. I was in a company called Ultra Lock, and I did a little commercial for them, a 60-second commercial. Because of that, that's what's kind of shifted me and said, wow, like people like these 60-second videos. And that's kind of the direction that social is right now, is right, all those short format, vertical format. So that was kind of like the start of that direction of where I started to go. Because you could have, I said at that point I had 150,000 subscribers on YouTube, but I had like 2,000 on Instagram, 500 on Facebook, and I was non-existent, no website, no nothing. It's kind of very unbalanced. And my focus for 2022 was to be completely balanced out. So I didn't even have TikTok till earlier this year. And I didn't do regular reels until earlier this year. And Facebook really didn't take off until this year. But, I'm trying to balance things out. The channel's still growing, and it has growth spurts because I do something that's seasonal. It's like if you sell swimming pools and you're in the Northeast, there's a season for that, right? RVs in the Northeast sort of has a season. People's mind shifts once they get through Thanksgiving until President's Day, Valentine's Day time. That's kind of like, that's the RV season. So there's a little bit of downtime. So the views go down a little bit. But I've been continually shooting video. I used to do a video and then have it up that Saturday. Do a video, have it up that Saturday. Now I have the next 12 episodes already filmed, edited, uploaded, and ready to go. I just have to pick which ones are going to release and what dates they're going to release. And what happened in 2022 is now people would reach out to me. I'm not putting flyers on vehicles anymore, although I do love that. I love the hunt, right? It's like American pickers digging through the barn of all the relics that people left behind. Well, it's fun. The hunt is fun. Finding a cool camper van that someone did out, I love that. But I haven't had to do that this year because so many people reached out and said, I love what you do. I would love to be a guest on your channel. How do I get to you? And I set up dates and times for filming. Each one takes 2 hours. And you think about, you're going to film a walkthrough video on an RV. You don't just show up and start filming. That's how I did it in 2018, 2019. Today, we do a complete walkthrough of their rig prior to the camera coming out. So I can understand everything they have. I can ask questions. I can make sure, some people own an RV and they don't understand everything about it. So I give them a little bit of education so when the video comes up, maybe they don't say something that would get them embarrassed later on. And then what I do is I do all the B-roll that I need. I do a full photo shoot of it. Then we film the video. When I'm done, I do a reel or a short. So that's like just as important. The video part of it is just as important as the photographs that I need to take with it. Now, equally important is the 60-second or 130, 1.5 minute video that I do that's a vertical format, short format. And that is me giving a tour of their RV with everything I learned from them over the last hour and a half. Now I'm doing a short video. And I put those on, I edit them and I put them on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook now has Reels, which is amazing. And if you want rapid growth, just hyper focus on Facebook Reels right now because you'll grow insane overnight. And then I put them on YouTube Shorts. So I could do one video, 60 seconds, and edit it in different ways and put it on multiple platforms with licensed music or Instagram's music that they have or TikTok's music, and you get all different audiences on all the different platforms. I notice when I look at the demographics and who's watching these videos, there's all different age groups, and it's very interesting. And the music has a lot to do with it too. Music's just as important as the video that you're filming. And not a lot of people like the music, but there's different genres for different platforms. And that has given me rapid growth. I wouldn't have grown this much on the channel. This has been a slow year for growth on this particular YouTube channel with this concept. If it wasn't for shorts, shorts doubled the amount of views that I got this year just by doing shorts. And it's hard. Like, you just first do a short, and you're like, that wasn't worth it. I didn't get a lot of views. And then all of a sudden, one day it'll just blow up and it will have 1 million views because something happened and it just went viral. But if you combine them all, the amount of time that it takes you to film and edit a short and put it on your channel versus a full format video, the amount of subscribers you could get are about equal. So why not just do a lot more shorts? But you don't want to like lose your audience and have them frustrated, like, oh, he's not doing full videos anymore. So there's like a fine line where you have to balance that. I know a lot of other YouTubers opened up a whole separate channel just for shorts because they didn't know if it was going to hurt them or not. I don't think it hurts them. I think it helps. I think there's two different types of viewers that are interested in what you have to offer, but not everybody's going to commit to 20 minutes or a half hour to watch and sit down and watch a full episode. It's just not going to happen. There's so many other options on television, on a computer for you to watch. So what are you going to do that's going to allow them to take time out of their day to watch what you have to do? I could get someone to watch 5 shorts while they're on the toilet before work, on their lunch break, sitting at their desk on the phone with a customer, because I put the closed captions in the video so they could watch them without audio and understand what happened in that video and flip right through to the next one. So that's how those videos get so much traction. So Instagram, just overnight, it seems, it's been a long road, but I got to like 65,000 followers on Instagram. And Facebook, and that was overnight because Reels just really blew up over the last month on Facebook, all the way up to 35 or 36,000 followers. And sometimes I could get 1,000 or 2,000 followers a day because that's what people are watching. That's what people want to see. That's the way the RV industry and the car business and everybody that sells something is going to be on that platform in a short format, vertical, quick, straight to the point, get to it, tell me what I need to know. That's the format will be. There will still always be long format videos. There always will be. There's going to be people that want to sit down and take more time to understand what you have to offer. But I think you really have to complement and do both. And those short videos wind up becoming commercials for the video that's coming up. So I film a video, say that video is not going to come out for 2 or 3 months. That short goes up right when I film the video. I could wait and pause and put it out later. But people they're like, oh my man, look, he just filmed this step van. I can't wait to see that tour. So of course they're going to subscribe or check every week to see if that video came up. So those are very helpful as little commercials, I would say, for the video. So now what I'm focusing on for the channel is really branding myself, right? It's always been Patrick with New Jersey Outdoor Adventures. No, it's Patrick Botticelli. That's who I am. The channel's New Jersey Outdoor Adventures, but I have a lot to offer. I do the 60-second tours of RVs. I can teach you everything you need to know about an RV to understand what it is in 60 seconds. And I talk really fast. And I have the closed captions for people that can't follow along. And they'll probably watch it 3 times to kind of see all the angles of everything. So I have like different intros. So on Instagram, let's check out this all new 2023 Airstream. Yeah, and on New Jersey Outdoor Adventures, the full YouTube. Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Today we met up with, and even on the Airstream channel, I do the Airstream walkthrough videos. I do 1 a month, full hour-long videos. Welcome back to Colonial Airstream. This is Patrick Botticelli, and today I'm going to show you the all-new. So people are familiar with that.
Got it down.
Not everybody likes that, but that's kind of how I branded those, so people know, oh, this is Patrick, and he's with this today, or this is what he's doing today. The other thing that really took off is remixes. So Instagram, a lot of people just send in video like, hey, we want to see you do a walkthrough of someone else's RV. So a lot of people do these reels where there's no speaking. It's just a video of their RV with music. People send it to me. I could remix it, take their audio out, whatever song they have playing. I could say, let's check out this camper van built by XYZ on Instagram. Front galley kitchen, center dinette, rear bed. And I just describe like what's happening or what they're showing the video. And I have the closed captions on most of them. And those just exploded, so, and a lot of people are sending me these clips. These videos that I'm remixing already have like 3 million views. So it's a good video to begin with. So of course, when you remix it and your face is in the green screen in the bottom right corner, that the video is still going to do very well. It's their video. It's like a free promotion, whoever made that Instagram video, but it's Patrick with New Jersey Outdoor Adventures talking about it. And people seem to get a really big kick of them. I get probably a dozen a day sent over to me. And that kind of idea, I kind of did it on my own at first. I was like, wow, I could kind of describe this person's RV. Let me try it. But there's a guy on TikTok called Chef Reactions. And this guy's hilarious. He'll take cooking videos that people do on TikTok and he'll do a side-by-side. He's a professional chef and he'll describe everything they're doing right and everything they're doing wrong in the video. And people love watching Chef Reactions because you don't realize like how many people don't really know what they're doing, but they're trying to teach someone how to do it. And he calls them out, and he's not bashing anybody, but he's just so dry and monotone that it's just enjoyable to watch. But I do kind of the same thing, but I'm not here to talk bad about anybody's RV. I'm just describing what they're doing. I just do it in a green screen, so it's just my little face in the bottom right corner. Some people don't like my face. Some people don't like my voice. You know how many comments I answer a day that say Ray Romano? This is Ray Romano. I mean, that's just...
Is that a bad thing, though? He's very successful.
I mean, if he was on social media, if he had social media and people tagged him, I'm sure he would be like, hey, like, I want to meet you. Or, hey, can you fill in for me for some work I got to do for voiceover?
So it seems like a huge part of your success has been you've posted on basically every platform you can, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I feel like you're going to infiltrate LinkedIn one day. Like you just are everywhere. How do you manage that? Like, as one person, do you have a team that you hire to help you post all these things? Are you just like a madman who is able to wear all these hats and post all these videos? Like, how do you balance all of the things that need to get done across so many different platforms?
I'm the madman that you described. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, take a quick shower, get right to it.
Wow.
And I leave my house 8 o'clock to go to work and work, a full 9-hour day, and then drive an hour home and get right to it again. So that's what I do. Where I'm lacking and where I'm improving is I had a website. Now I have a website. Like, I have a legit website. That was like where I was lacking. Like, people like, how do you look it up online? I would just give them my social media handles. But now I have a website that they can land to. It's going to be good for SEO and blog posts. So that is like the best way possible to promote some of these videos. I could have it written, describing the video. I have all the audio from the video. I could just transcribe and send it out and have it rewritten and have blog posts with screenshots from the video. That's how Motor One and a lot of these publications online that have hundreds and hundreds of posts a day, that's how they're all written. It's just what they find on YouTube. They just rewrite an article on it. Well, that's what I'm going to do with the blog post. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to do more podcasts, and I'm excited to be on your podcast tonight. I'm just going to try to be everywhere and balance work, relax time, gym, workout, and this. But it's hard. I coached another YouTuber, one of my really dear friends, with her YouTube channel that she started just because she does American Sign Language, ASL. And during the COVID lockdown, she wanted to like share and teach people online. And her channel now, which she does a weekly video, and they're only 3 minutes long, her channel has 15,000 subscribers. But there was a point where like she had 100, she had 200, and I was like, is it worth it? And a lot of people hit that wall because YouTube is so competitive now. There's so many channels that people can watch, and there's a lot of really, really good YouTubers out there that are just incredibly talented that gain a huge audience very quickly. It's really hard to dabble with YouTube and hope to be successful. But she did a great job. She was dedicated to it. She knows who she is and what she's doing, and she sticks with it. And that's another tip I would give, like someone early on at YouTube, they don't know, they just want to do YouTube, right? They will either want to make money on YouTube. I never wanted to make money on YouTube. It was literally a storage place for my GoPro videos, but it became a business. And a lot of people get into it like, hey, I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to start a YouTube channel. But then they're not consistent. You know, they'll upload and then they'll disappear for 2 months and come back out. You got to realize like what your audience, the people that said, hey, I like you, I want to subscribe to you, how easily it is for them to turn their back on you. And it's hard for me too, because there's so many different things I'm passionate about that I would love to do on my channel, but I kind of painted myself into a corner. I'm kind of, the people that said, hey, Patrick, we love what you're doing. We can't wait for next week's episode because we know exactly what to expect. Those people, if I throw something completely different out there, they don't watch it. And it really just kills the channel. And I experimented here and there with those types of videos, and I could instantly know that they don't like it. And, you know, if you're hopeful that you're going to gain a whole new audience, well, start a whole new channel, because you can't change directions.
Right.
There are channels that did, and they pivoted, like Mr. Beast. What was his channel about when he first started? Video games, a video play. He pivoted. But he had such a small following in the beginning that even if those people disappeared, he still did well because he found a huge following in the direction that he went. With me, people know they signed up to watch RVs, van tours. If I do a service tip or a hack or something, yeah, they might like it. But if I decided to throw a bike video in there one day, I'm done. That no one's going to watch that video that week. It's really going to hurt that channel, really probably for the next 2 or 3 weeks until I get them back, hopefully back.
You're right. So when it comes to being consistent, like you're a self-professed madman. You work a lot. So you still work a full-time job. Is that what I'm hearing? And then you do this on top of everything.
Yes, I've been there 25 years. I put in my 43, 50-hour week and my long commute each day. And then I do this when I'm not working.
So what advice do you have for like maintaining that consistency, specifically on social media, YouTube, kind of building your own online business? I'm guessing part of your answer involves choosing something that you're passionate about. Obviously, before you really took off in the van life niche, you were already making your own builds. So like this is obviously something you're passionate about. But let's say somebody finds their passion. They are maybe making a video here or there, or they're thinking of starting, but they haven't quite, like they don't quite have that energy that you have, where they're not quite willing to just give it their all. Like what advice do you have to get somebody from, dabbling to getting serious consistently?
I think the best way for any new YouTuber to get motivated, if they're starting from scratch, is just do shorts. Start your channel, do what you're passionate about, and focus only on shorts. You will gain a much larger following doing that than doing full format videos. You know how hard it is? If you went to school and you learned editing and audio mixing and everything that you need to know, and you come out with this beautiful video and you don't have an audience, no one's going to watch it. You know how hard that hurts? Like,
Yeah.
it could be a movie that could get awards, but you put it on a platform that is not going to push it because you don't exist. So you got to like exist somehow. And you don't want to, and this is advice. Like, I don't believe in like trickery or, doing those like, oh, we're quitting van life, find out why, but then they're not, type of videos. But I would just say keep it real. People like genuine. I love to watch someone that's completely genuine. If that's your genre, because there are YouTube channels all on jokes and comedy and pranks that people pull. That's a different audience that you're going to get. But if you're going to do something similar to the van life, just be genuine. And if you're going to do full format videos, people like the vlog style. You got to follow a storyline. That's like the science. If you watch Yes Theory, you watch Mr. Beast, they all have a storyline. Hey, folks, this is what we're going to do today. And we're going to go there, start now, but we only have 3 hours to get there. And if we don't make it, we lose out on everything. And then you follow all the shenanigans and all the obstacles that come up in between the start and the end. I mean, that's how most of the successful YouTube channels are written. That's how television shows are written. You kind of know what's going to happen in the beginning. They tell you a little bit of background, what's going to go on. They might show you a little teaser at the end. And then now they're under the gun. They only have a certain amount of time to do it. So now you're going to stick around. You're like, are these guys going to make it? And then all of a sudden, something happens. There's a roadblock and they can't get through. And you're like, oh, they're done. I got to stick around and see if they actually make it. And they get through. You watch television shows about cars, like rebuilding cars. It's always under that same storyline that they're not going to meet the deadline and they're all going to work, do 24-hour shifts just to make it through. People stick around because they want to see the end product. That's, if you're going to do a storyline, that's the way to do it. My videos don't have a storyline because it's about a guest giving a tour of their RV. So people are intrigued of it, just like if they're getting a tour of a tiny house or an apartment. They just want to see the whole thing. If I decided one day that I wanted to include my personal life in these videos and get more involved in like my day and day, which is not interesting, it would just be me sitting at my computer or me filming content out in the field. But if I retired from my full-time job and I was able to do this full-time, yeah, I would be traveling more. I would do things with my Airstreams and I would document that and have that vlog format. So then I could have both types of videos. It could be me and what I do every day and, the guests I have on the channel and kind of mix them two together. I would love to do that one day. It's just not at that point right now. So the channel's not really about me. It's about the people that I find and how geeked out I get about the cool things that they have in their RVs.
And so, since you have spent so much of your time meeting new people and talking to them about something that they really love, like a build that they made, how, have you kept in touch with a lot of these people? Do you find, creating this channel has sort of opened you up to lifelong connections, or are you working so much that you're you feel you can't quite take advantage of the social connections that you've been able to make? Or do you feel like the balance is where you want it to be right now, or do you feel like, man, this is like a lot of hours right now?
I say, man, it's a lot of hours. See, I meet these people and I keep in touch. I follow them on social media. They tag me and stuff. I tag them and stuff. It's just fun. I get to see what they're doing. But also, I'm like, man, I would love to be doing that. Like, why can't I go to this fest and this meetup? I would love to do that. I'd love to be at all these places because there's just going to be a lot of cool vans and cool rigs there. So I've had many people that like repeat guests on the channel. They got a new rig, got a new setup. I have them back on the channel. I did part 1s and part 2s where people were in the middle of a build and it was kind of cool, like to go in like this old house and be like, hey, today they're putting up sheetrock, so I did that in the van. People had a half-built van. I said, yeah, let's do a video of it. Let's tell them like what your plans are, what it's going to be like. And then we did a video when it was complete, and that was a very successful, two videos. People stuck around. They want to see Becky and Austin, see what they came up with. But I would love to get more involved and be able to travel and meet up with some of the people that I met in the past, and meet with some of the people that reach out to me that are in California and said, Patrick, we love what you do. We want to be in your channel, but we're not coming to New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So
So do you feel like the main obstacle here then is just kind of money? Like you're still working your full-time job. It sounds like you enjoy the job, but there's just so much going on that you like it's hard to do all of these hours. Have you thought about new ways that you want to monetize your channel so that you could potentially do this full-time? Is there something keeping you from doing that? Like kind of where is your head at as far as kind of taking this business and taking it financially to the next level while still like keeping the integrity of what you've already built?
it's tough because I've been with the company for 25 years. I was the fifth employee. We have 58 employees now. I'm like heavily vested in the company, and I enjoy what I do, and I have customers that enjoy me. So it's kind of hard if I decided to take the direction of doing the channel full time. I think I would miss that too because I'm workaholic in that life too. So eventually there will be a time where I could do that, but I would have to fully transition into this. I would have to really step up my game quite a bit, and it's not a financial thing. The finance part of it doesn't bother me, but it would be a different lifestyle, and is a little bit unknown. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I'm 46 years old. I think 46, 47.
Something like that.
Yeah. And, I'm always like, well, what's next for me? I worked my ass off my whole entire life. Like, what's next? Am I going to get the cool things that a lot of my guests get to do that work remotely on the road and still, they're working 9 to 5. They're still putting in their hours, but the next day they're in another beautiful location. And the next day, so they're getting to do a lot of cool things. Although camping is work. If anybody says that it's such a glamorous lifestyle, yeah, it can be when you set up it that way for photographs and for videos, but there's a lot of work involved in van life. I have my Airstream van, and when I go out, there is work involved. It's not an easy day. It's easier living in a home, but there's other things. Now you got home stuff to do, chores and maintenance and upkeep. Well, you still have that in a van, but there's everything that it takes to take a shower, use the toilet, brush your teeth, get ready for the day. Takes about 3 times as long if you're living the van life. So you're finding yourself like the hours just totally fly by when you're doing that versus your regular routine that you're stuck in every day. You know exactly how long it takes you to eat breakfast, shower, get ready, drive to work. So it's an unknown that I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't want to kiss everything away and go for it and live this lifestyle and do the channel full time and miss what I had.
Right.
It's a tough one.
To me, yeah. I mean, to me, it seems like the answer would be hiring out as much work as you can do. So that if you thought about going full time or even like a large amount of part time, like where you didn't have to work this full time job, which it sounds like you enjoy your job. But if you wanted to do it right, I would recommend like hiring out the work that you do so that you can kind of manage things and then focus on doing what you enjoy. So like traveling to different places and obviously being on camera, or like, behind the camera. And that way you can like still post to all these different platforms and get all this editing done. But you're sort of able to have a bird's eye view and maybe focus more on the like I think one thing that is like great for you is you do have a lot of like integrity with your channel. You said early on that you have basically foregone a lot of sponsorship opportunities because you had like a conflict of interest that you felt like was there. And so I think for you, monetizing sounds like a bit more of a quandary. So maybe you could start a Patreon, which obviously takes work to run. But yeah, if you could hire some people to kind of help you keep the lights on and keep things going, I feel like you would be able to do this really well. And yeah, I guess, but also if you were open to certain sponsorship opportunities, like I think Jackbox, is that what it's called? It's like
Jackery.
a Jackery, that's it. Something like that. The sort of portable generator, portable battery. Like that seems like it would go really well for you.
It might. I mean, to me, it's kind of cliche. I think that, a lot of people early on pick up as many sponsors as they can. And, there's some products out there that you can kind of lose credibility. I'm known
Sure.
well in the RV industry, and people trust. If I tell them that's what you need to buy, accessories for your RV, they'll buy it. They won't ask any questions. They won't do any research. So there was a lot of products that were, my inbox is full every day of different companies that want to run sponsorships, commercials, send me stuff. And I just don't get to them because some of the stuff out there is just crap. And I don't
Hmm.
want to be pushing some of these products. There are a lot of good
Right.
products that I can't because of conflict of interest right now. But back to you say like someone running the show for me. That's like Tiny Home Tours is another YouTube channel. They
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
and she actually, if you look in the description of all the videos, she has someone that works remotely on the road that films, someone that edits, and they upload the video. She does her intro and she markets it, and then she's done. So yeah, I kind of figured out how other people are doing it. I could definitely do it that way. My test into that was someone really wanted to be on the channel, really, really bad. And we just couldn't get together because they were so far away. So I said, you know what? Film a video as if I'm there filming it. Okay. Send it to me in clips. I'll edit it and I'll film the intro here in New Jersey. And I
Mhm.
did it. And it worked. It looked like we were all together. I filmed the intro in front of my van, and the camera turned around, and it was this family, Red, White, and Bethune is their name, and they live with their kids in this huge bus, and they're big TikTokers, big Instagram, big YouTube, and I got them on the channel without having to physically go there and film it. So yes, it is a possibility that could be done that way, but I feel like I'd miss out because I would love to be there and like go through it with them and
Sure.
get my little
Uh-huh.
short of it because I love and I geek out about this.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that speaks to one of the harder parts of running a business like this is there are a lot of truly enjoyable aspects. It's not just a business selling widgets where the goal is just to make money. And in some ways, if that's your only goal, that's a lot easier than if you are like emotionally invested in what you're doing and actually wanting to travel. Yeah, I mean, I know you have a merch store. I know YouTube is implementing a new monetization system for shorts next year. I believe early next year, like January, February of 2023. So that's probably going to help with revenue, I assume. But yeah, I mean, so it sounds like your plan moving forward is kind of just to keep doing what you're doing, and just see how it works out. And maybe because you're so open to shorts, like with this new way that you're able to monetize on the platform that's coming up, you might find it's a lot easier to make money, or maybe you like make more shorts than you have in the past, and that is like kind of an easier way to bring in more revenue.
Definitely. Yeah, and it's again, it's not about the money. I do well in my career. This is a hobby of mine, but it's nice seeing that check each month. And sometimes it just feels illegal. Like you did, what am I
Mm,
doing? Like, how did I make that much?
mhm,
But Facebook and Instagram now pay for certain reels, and that added up to quite a bit. So I think the YouTube Shorts is going to add up a very good as well. But I think the regular YouTube, uh, the money spent for the YouTube videos, I think that's going to go down. I think the revenue on full format YouTube videos, I think will go down. I think really the money is going to be made in these short videos when they
mm,
run commercials in there. I think
mhm,
that's the direction they're eventually going to go to make the most amount of money.
mhm. Yeah, you're probably right. At the very least, in the foreseeable future, it'll be easier to get like a large audience, and probably per view, you won't get paid as much, but it'll be easier to get so many more views that it'll inevitably be worth it. At least for now, that seems to be what we're heading towards. TikTok has really changed the game, huh? But yeah, I didn't mean to give you a bunch of unsolicited advice here. I think what you're doing is great, and like it's really cool. You're able to kind of do something you're passionate about so consistently, and really just stick to it. So I am curious. Like you built out this Airstream. How often do you get out there and use it? Go off on those crazy roads.
So I have two. I have the 1961 Airstream Bambi that I restored in 2020 and finally took it camping in 2021 once for like 3 nights. And then I have my Airstream van, which I use all the time. You'll see it. It's not my daily driver, but you'll see it in the background on almost every single video I do. It's kind of an icon. I think the van is just as famous as me. Like people see the van and are like, oh my God, that's the guy Patrick, or they'll see me and like, hey, you're the YouTube guy. And it's kind of a weird thing when you go out in public and you're just nobody, you're just regular Patrick here, and people recognize you and you're like, oh my God, you're the guy. But with me, I'm like, all right, which guy am I? I'm the guy with the van. I'm the New Jersey Outdoor Adventures guy. I'm the guy on TikTok. Am I the Airstream guy? From the Airstream channel. So like, I got to figure out where they see me from.
Hmm.
But I kind of lost track. Where were we going?
Mm. No, I was just asking how often you get out there with your
With
builds
the rig.
and
So I would
yeah.
say I sleep in it at least 30 nights a year, but I
Okay.
use it every other day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the beauty about having a van. If you're not a van lifer and you're not living in it, but you have one, you take it when you go to the beach for the day because it's cool to have all your stuff with you,
Right.
right? I drive it to work sometimes because sometimes I have late hours and I have an oven in there. I could heat up my dinner in there. I
Hmm.
sleep at the dealership some during the COVID lockdown or when the RV business went crazy when we're selling like 15, 20 RVs a day per person. Like we were working round the clock. I literally lived in my Airstream van in the back field of the dealership, for quite a period of time, just because why drive an hour home to go to sleep to turn around and drive back the next day to get right back to it. But I use that van a lot, and I love that van. It's an oldie, but I keep it up. I just did some major upgrades to it earlier this year. I did complete lithium. So I was embarrassed with the van. The van looked cool and everything, but I only had like one little RV AGM battery, and this is a
Hmm.
mega Airstream. It should have mega everything. So I have a mega lithium battery bank now. So the whole thing is fully self-contained. I took out my gasoline generator. I made just a lot of nice upgrades. So it's really like I said, one day I'm going to be able to hit the road and just go and be fully self-contained. So it's ready.
Hmm. Man, that's awesome. I'm glad you still have time and that it fits into your lifestyle to use these vans like it really often. I mean, it's I'm really glad to hear that. Like, especially I don't know, you're amazing to me, dude. Like the the amount of hours that you work, still able to like get to the beach and do some camping and like all of that is amazing to me. I feel like my time management isn't quite what it could be.
Well, I don't watch TV, but I do watch YouTube. But we didn't talk about biking. I'm still a cyclist. I ride, in the winter months when it's just mountain biking, I ride 40 to 50 miles a week. And in the summer,
Wow.
road bike, in spring and fall, I do 100 miles a week. So you know how many hours I have each week in the saddle? But that time isn't wasted. That time I'm using to plan and methodically think out what I'm going to do with the channel and what direction I'm going to do the channel. So by the time I get off that bike, I'm like up and running. I'm not like need that creative time or that creative space. That
Right.
space is my bike.
I got you. Wow. Okay. Huh. So it's all kind of built into your process. I know there's YouTubers like Casey Neistat. He'll go on really long runs, and kind of during that time, he is thinking about the next video he's going to make, and it's kind of part of his process. It sounds like that's exactly what you're doing, but with biking and, instead of running, obviously. So my last question for you, because the hour's almost up, is what is the before and after snapshot for you? Obviously, you've been on YouTube for a long time. You're on all kinds of platforms, but before you kind of started getting noticed, your life was a certain way, and then now you have a big following. People recognize you, especially I'm sure if you're going out to van life meetups or something like that. How do you feel different on the inside now that all of this has happened, if you feel different at all?
So I know we talked a lot in this podcast, but I'm pretty quiet. Like, go to a party, I'm the guy sitting in the back corner, flipping around on his phone, not interested, not engaging with everything. So I kind of feel guilty when like people meet me, and I'm like, I'm not a small talker. So, sometimes I feel weird, like I didn't give them what they expected when they seen me. And I don't have the like, oh, I'm too good or I'm too big type thing. I've had that happen to me. Like early on when I was a YouTuber, like I'd reach out to people like, yeah, you only have like 20,000, like, and I have 100,000. Now I look, because I go and I track like all different channels and see how I compare to them. And now I look at those channels and they have like 120,000, and like I blew way past them. And I was
Nice.
like, yeah, if they reach out to me, I'd totally like, yeah, let's do something. I'm always up for it. But like, don't let it get in your head. Like, if you have success, don't go out and buy all this crazy stuff, because like YouTube could shut you off tomorrow.
Yeah.
You could offend someone and they could cancel you. There's so many things that could happen that if you're not careful, because this is not like, if you're making it into a business, it is a business. Mine is a registered LLC. Everything's legal. Everything's done the right way. You got to think of it that way, that if you're going to depend on it as income, then treat it like a business, and just be mindful of that.
Yeah, it's true. Like, it's a professional endeavor. It's a hobby, but it's also a business, and there's a lot of seriousness that goes along with that. So yeah, I really love what you're doing. I appreciate you joining me today. I really just keep it up. I'm stoked for the new short monetization system. I'm really hoping that that's going to be huge for you. You've also kind of inspired me to do more shorts myself. I have kind of a passion project channel that I'm starting up again. I haven't really posted to it in a year. And I've thought about shorts. I think I'm not used to making them, but I like what you said about, you can use them to grow an audience pretty quickly, which is inherently motivating, I think. So, yeah, you've really given me a lot of food for thought, and I appreciate you coming on today. And yeah, it's been great.
Can I give you a tip? And I'm going to give this to your viewers too.
Sure.
If you are an existing YouTuber and you want to get into the shorts, YouTube makes it so easy now. You can make any of your videos that you already have uploaded into a short. You just study the hotspots in the video. So you watch it on your computer, you hover over, and you can see the parts that people are either repeat or linked directly to. So sometimes on blogs and forums, people say, oh, check out this video, but they have it already kind of marked at a certain spot that it starts. you could see that, you could study that, and you could see what people want to see. And when you go on, not the YouTube Studio app, the regular YouTube, and you're logged in, you click on short and you make it into a short, 15 seconds or 60 seconds. And you could drag it over. You don't have to do anything really. And you just take that one spot of the video. You could take a spot where someone says something that's so passionate about them, that one moment that you need to capture, and you can make that into a short. And you just keep it stupid simple. And that's the biggest thing is like the titles in these shorts, when they come up in the feed, you only see the first few words, like not even. So it has to be like crazy stupid van instead of like Mercedes Sprinter van tour with full shower and bathroom. That's kind of like your YouTube title, say. Mm-hmm. Like the shorts, you could just make it so, like, think of it, it's like they're all teenagers that are gonna watch this video. Just keep the title so simple. And 3 keywords, do that for TikTok too. And you might see some momentum. I experimented, I did full shorts with like editing lots of little clips. And then I've done a really high performing video that I have on YouTube. And I did a short of a small section of it. And those shorts blew up.
Wow.
And it took me literally 15 seconds to do it. It's my content. Dude, I already created it.
Yeah. Whoa. All right. Well, I know what I'm doing for my next move. That I was actually looking at that the other day because I was like, wow, this is pretty ingenious that they implemented this system. I just it never occurred to me to go into my audience retention graph and look at the, I guess you don't even have to do that. It shows the ups and downs when you just hover over a video normally.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even have to be that complicated. That's, that great idea, man. I love it. I really love it.
Well, thank you very much for having me on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for being on, Patrick. And yeah, like you were really great at sharing all your information, your whole story. I feel like I really got as much as I could have in 1 hour. So yeah, with that, also thank you for listening, whoever you are. This has been Patrick of New Jersey Outdoor Adventures, and that's it. That's the show. I'm always really good at recording outros here. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.